Hey, JulesBlessedVegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. People, I struggled today. Oh my goodness. Like, I woke up and just, I don't even know, already in a fix. I'll just say it that way. I was kind of short-tempered. Everything was bothering me, like beyond belief. And it took me until about lunchtime to even kind of snap out of that funk. And then by the time it was dinner, I was right back in that awful place. And I know it's coming to me, my psychic eye. You're thinking, how can someone as rich and famous and beautiful as you have a care in the world? Wait, what? I wasn't spot on? You weren't thinking that? That's messed up. I wanted to come down to be with you civilians and tell you that even stars like me struggle if it makes you feel better about you. I need to laugh anyway, so thanks for bearing with me. Because honestly, I got caught up in the nonsense of school in addition to everything else, and I forgot to laugh. And I always need to laugh in my day big time. So even if it's only with myself in front of you, thank you for allowing me to humor you. Okay. Anyway, so it's Friday night. What's up? I hope you're doing something special for yourself, or just coming down from your week, which would be lovely as well. And I'm going to talk about the icon for this video, which reads, no matter how long you have traveled in the wrong direction, you always have the choice to turn around. Now, don't tell that to my husband. He's one of those guys that has to drive on one side of the road. And if what you need, your venue is on the other side, sorry, turning around is not an option. He would rather drive to the next town to find that venue than have to go to the other side of the street. I'm a turnaround girl, okay? I absolutely am the U-turn queen. I have no problem hopping street to street, nothing. So it's pretty funny, but it really bothers him to death. But I was kind of thinking of it, in life, I don't really go backwards for things. I really don't. I was voted most likely to haunt the high school the minute I graduated. I never went back. I never went back. There's been many, many times in my life where people were sure if anybody comes back, it's going to be Juliana. My gosh, she was such a diehard. She was so committed, da-da-da. Yeah, no, not really. I mean, it's interesting. If I don't see an opportunity for growth, I generally don't go back. And so I love the idea, though, of being able to turn around, to stop going in the wrong direction. I'm all for that. If your life is going in the wrong direction and there's anything behind you that might be a tool that you missed, an opportunity that you missed, directions that you misunderstood, turn around. Put on the brake. Turn around. There's no crime in it at all. If whatever is behind you, some clue that you missed, and you can get help for it, turn around. And it just says, let's read it again. No matter how long you have traveled in the wrong direction, you always have the choice to turn around. And I kind of think about, the different, when you're on a road and you can definitely veer to the left, to the right, whatever direction, you don't really know where those roads will lead. I mean, it's always a risk, right? You're hoping it'll go in the wrong direction, but how beautiful, did I just say wrong? Forgive me, right direction. But how beautiful to have the grace to actually recognize with yourself, if no one else, that you indeed took the wrong turn and that you definitely want to go back maybe to that main road and go forward again before you dare to branch off again, And I love the idea of that. And I certainly feel like I kind of did that with my food. A couple of years ago, I was in the thick of the standard American diet. I wasn't even familiar with that phrase, right? SAD, I'd never heard of it before. But I was processed foods to the max, dead meat, of course, dairy, what's up, all of it. And I claimed that I had vegetables if there was a leaf on my 3-layer bacon cheeseburger. And may that not provoke anyone. Forgive me if it does. The same thing, you know, I had milk, which of course was considered healthy by all accounts, but ladled in sugar, corn syrup, and all the other fun that made up that actual dessert that I had. So, you know, I tried to find the health in various things. I remember I came upon, I can't remember if it was a talk or an actual documentary, but it was this guy who was talking about how not only the more fruit and vegetables you eat, do you have a chance to live longer, which kind of seemed like it was stating the obvious to an extent, but also the less you eat, right? The longer you may live. And I was packing in 10,000 calories at a time and averaging at least 6,500 a day, which in some ways I'm very proud of my body for being able to even deal with, process, do any of that. I mean, seriously, I have to see the mercy of my body trying to protect me during that very desperate time. And so I realized as my health finally gave way to all the diseases that come along with that eating lifestyle, that I had to turn it around or I was going to die. And there's no exaggeration in that at all. I wasn't as sick physically as other people. I never had stomach ailments and things. I referred to myself as having a steel stomach. I could consume a tremendous amount and seemingly have no consequence for it. You know, I didn't feel like I was going to vomit. I didn't have diarrhea. I didn't have like any of the fun that so many people have when they eat things that don't agree with them. So often I would consume a bunch of food and then say, oh, I didn't really like that. Ew, that was barely hot at all. And it'd be like, okay, but you didn't send it back, or you still ate the entire thing, or how come you're done and you're telling us now? Well, to not continue to eat compulsively wasn't an option. Are you kidding me? Come on, professional overeater. So, you know, I've experienced all of those things, of course. But finally, when it came to the point where they wanted to put me on dialysis for stage 3 kidney disease, when I was realizing that my thyroid, you know, my hypothyroidism was real and that things were starting to not work, you know? So it wasn't the immediate. For some people, they're so sick, their stomach hurts so bad, they have such a bad this and that, they can't do it. I would say my migraines, the horrific migraines, which I, of course, later realized I was bringing on myself by the food choices, the processed foods I was eating, the terrible asthma attacks, which there's no doubt environmentally things were affecting me, but I later realized it was really the poisons I was putting in myself that had the greatest effect on me. Like, those things were rather immediate. When a migraine would come on right away, I couldn't hide from that. When an asthma attack would come on, I couldn't hide from that. The way something like kidneys, which basically have almost no symptoms until you're literally on dialysis or dying, I couldn't really see that. Drowning, literally drowning in acid reflux, like pouring out my nose, right? Waking me up with acid pouring out my nose and trying to grab any breath I could because the acid was burning. Talking like a 3-pack a day smoker because I burned my esophagus from all the acid. Those things were becoming more immediate. Okay, I suddenly was like, I don't know if I can keep outrunning all of this and still do what I do. And by God's grace, you know, 3 years later, I'm certainly in a whole different situation, and I rejoice in that. But I really had to turn around. I had to take that floor of my foot off the skinny pedal, and turn it around. And, you know, I'm still in progress, but I am happy to say that, you know, I've been well for the entire year. I know. The whole year. That's saying a lot. There were times when I didn't think I could be well for 1 hour. When they say 1 day at a time, I would say 1 millisecond at a time, and I meant it. So yeah, no matter how long you've traveled in the wrong direction, you always have the choice to turn around. And just on a closing note, that's spiritual as well, right? It doesn't matter what your life has been up until now. It's just 3 humble words, you know? I'm a sinner. I'm a sinner. I mean, anyone who's humble enough to admit that, which just means you fall short of the grace of God at times in your life. That you simply turn from His grace at times in your life. Is it that painful? And even on your deathbed, even on your very last breath, I'm a sinner, Lord. Team Jesus, take me in. He allows us to turn it around. And while others will be shocked when you show up in heaven, you'll know that in God's grace and mercy, He heard you on your dying breath. I'm a sinner, Lord. Forgive me. He's pretty good about that. All right, my friends. That's the talk of the day. What do you think? Where are you at? Can you relate? Have you had to turn it around? Have you had the grace to turn it around yet? Or are you going to go for that? All right. As always, like if you like, join us if you haven't. Subscribe. Hey, I have some new subscribers. Welcome, you guys. I'm stoked. I hope you benefit from this channel. It's really exciting to watch that number go up. And until we talk again, best of all, know that I pray for you and that you're blessed.